In 1987, Minnie and William Winston had been married 44 years. For the previous 22 years, they had rented a 6-room, red brick home at the corner of Fountain Drive and Morris Street in southwest Atlanta. It was just before midnight on September 8th when Minnie, 77, stepped out of the shower and found the bathroom floor covered with splotches of blood. Mrs. Winston immediately woke her 79-year-old husband, saying, "Come look at all this red stuff coming out of the floor." Spots of blood ranging in size from a dime to a silver dollar were found on the floor and the lower walls of the bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, basement, and every hallway. The substance was also located under a television and in a narrow, nearly inaccessible crawl space in the basement. Homicide detective Steve Cartwright said that in his 10 years of service he'd never seen anything like it. He called it an extremely strange situation. "I'm guessing it was an animal," stated homicide detective Richard Price. "Hope that's all it was." But it wasn't. The couple had no pets and there were no rodents in the house. Police were not terribly concerned because William, retired from the National Screen Service Company, was often found in bed attached to a dialysis machine, which cleanses the blood of people suffering from kidney failure. However, Mr. Winston seemed to reject his blood as the solution to the mystery, saying, "I don't know what the stuff is." The bleeding house immediately captured the fancy of Atlanta, drawing crowds from across the metro area. Prying visitors became such a problem that police declared the house a crime scene to prohibit inquiring minds from trespassing. By September 11th, it was known that the blood type of the house was O, and William and Minnie's was A. With no match, Atlanta homicide detectives grew frustrated as their work progressed. "We will continue a routine investigation," stated Homicide Commander Lieutenant Horace Walker, "and if we find that no crime was committed, we're through with it." Detective Price stated, "We're still trying to figure out where the blood came from. We plan to check with the state crime lab today about other possibilities." Police's handling of the bloody evidence had come under criticism from the lab. Believing an animal might have deposited the splotches, police had sent fresh samples to Grady Memorial Hospital to determine if it was human or animal blood. Only then, 13 hours after Mrs. Winston called the police, was the state crime lab notified. Crime lab director Larry Howard stated that they could have learned much more: sex, race, traces of drugs or alcohol, more easily from fresh blood. The only semi-relevant fact discovered by the crime lab was that it looked like the blood was projected out of something or shaken off something. As the police investigation continued, public and media interest only intensified. The offices of Atlanta Journal-Constitution radio and television stations and the police department were flooded with inquiries from across Atlanta area and as far away as California and New York. "Are the walls of that house really bleeding?" people asked. These paranormal mysteries usually just slowly fade away, and such was the case with Atlanta's bleeding house. The Homicide Bureau and the State Crime Lab never identified the source of the blood, nor did they detect any indication of a hoax or a crime. And with the next bloody slaying at Atlanta, the bleeding house was forgotten.